Hey everyone, Joe. Thanks for visiting the channel. I'm the founder and director of Progressive Alternative. Check us out on Facebook, search Progressive Alternative. Just wanted to talk to everybody about the debate last night. For about 43 minutes or so, we had an adults-only debate about foreign policy, what's going on in Iran, which went normal. It was a good debate. It was good. Everybody got across their stances. Then at about the 43-minute mark, it was the night CNN and the mainstream media realized that Bernie Sanders can win. You can see it was a planned attack on Bernie Sanders from CNN, from every moderator that was on the panel. I didn't see attacks really or setups for any other candidate except Bernie Sanders. They continually set him up for attack by the other candidates on stage. When he gave his answer to Elizabeth Warren, when the moderator asked if he said what he said, he obviously and forcefully gave a full-throated denial that he did not say a woman can't win the election. Bernie Sanders, say anything you want about his policies. You can disagree with his policy. You can disagree with a lot of things, and that's fine. But one thing that we should all be able to agree on, if you look at Bernie Sanders from the 1960s on, his whole life really, he has been one of the biggest proponents of justice and equality. From protesting segregated housing and college campuses in the 1960s, to marching alongside Dr. Martin Luther King for justice and equality, for voting rights, for women's rights, for desegregation, for housing, and he's been consistent that way from then until now, until present day. Think about that. From the 1960s until 2020 and beyond. He has been consistent in his message the entire time. I want you to think about any other candidate. Go back, think about all the candidates that ran for Congress that you know of, that ran for president through the years. I want you to go back and from what they said in their early lives, and then once they got to Congress and once they got to federal office, look at their progression to how their views changed, because they got corrupted by big money, they got corrupted by the mainstream media, by the lobbyists, and you see their views start to change. You can almost draw a progression to where, okay, that's the point where they became corrupted, where they caved into the system and played by the system's rules, played by the oligarchy's rules. The one single candidate who never took big money, who does not take big money, who has the biggest grassroots movement in the history of the United States, who marched with Dr. Martin Luther King, who got arrested fighting desegregation in the United States in the 1960s. From then till now, he has been the ultimate force since the passing of Dr. Martin Luther King. Him, among others, have been the driving force for justice and equality in this United States. So for Elizabeth Warren and the establishment and the mainstream media to try to paint him as some sort of sexist or misogynist is a bunch of bullshit. It's 3 weeks before Iowa. It's down to a dead heat between a few different candidates, including Senator Sanders, who is surging in the polls, and Elizabeth Warren, who's been dropping in the polls since October. It is clear what is going on here. It is clear. Does Senator Warren is desperate? She's caved to her morals. She has Clintonites and Obama allies all throughout her campaign. That's where these attacks are coming from. They're coming from Clinton allies who cannot stand Bernie Sanders because he is everything that they used to be and that they sold their souls, and that's why they're not anymore. They sold their souls to corporations. They sold their souls to the oligarchy. Bernie Sanders has been the driving force for good in this country. He is trying to get us all to stand alongside him for a revolution, for justice and equality, and down with the oligarchy and down with fascism. That is who Bernie Sanders is. He's not a sexist. He's not a tool of corporations. He's not a tool of the mainstream media. He sticks to his convictions. He sticks to his morals, and he will do what is right for the United States. He will do what is right for the world. We have enough endless war. We have enough suffering in the United States because of this oligarchy. People dying without medications, without health care. People can't put a roof over their heads for their families, for their children. Enough is enough. We need real patriots to call out this corruption everywhere they see it. We need to call out the mainstream media. We need to call out the moderators of CNN. We need to tell the truth, and we need to expose what is going on in this country. What is going on with this oligarchy, where moderators at a nationally televised debate are taking orders from their corporate masters to attack a certain candidate because he is a threat to their power. Make no mistake, that is what's going on here. Senator Warren, the other candidates on stage, the moderators of CNN, the powers that be behind the cameras at CNN, behind the cameras at MSNBC, in their boardrooms, all the major networks are unifying to attack Senator Sanders because he is a threat to corporate power. Think about that. He is a threat to corporate power. That in and of itself is a reason to support him in this election. I'm sorry, I'm kind of animated, but watching how the CNN moderators debated last night really infuriated me. I mean, in real time, I was infuriated. It was so blatantly obvious what they were doing. So, I don't know. Again, I know I'm mad. I know I'm angry. I'm kind of animated here with my finger points. But that is the truth of what's going on. So keep that in context. When you're watching the news throughout the day, when you're watching CNN or MSNBC or these other channels, just keep in mind that's what's going on. That's why you're hearing what you're hearing on these channels. Because they are trying to smear Senator Sanders. They are trying to smear our movement, a grassroots movement, where the average donation behind a campaign is $18. No other candidate can say that. No other candidate has not accepted money from one single billionaire. So, have a good day. We're going to start making more videos on this channel. I hope you'll subscribe and like our video. We're trying to build a movement. Let's build it together. Let's unify. We need progressives to unify. And we need a movement. We need a revolution. So subscribe to the channel, like the channel. We'll be doing a lot more videos, and we'll see you soon. Solidarity.